Good evening and welcome to Inside Jefferson Football, your weekly look inside the Jaguar football program. My name is Josh Powers. Coming up on this edition of Inside Jefferson Football, we'll talk to the head coach, Tim Carlson, about last week's game against South St. Paul and a look ahead to this week's home game, the senior night for Jefferson, their final home game in the regular season against Hastings. We'll also catch up in the Where Are They Now segment with former Jaguar Nate Wakely, and in the players segment, we talked to a couple of the seniors, Riley Rieger and Nate Royer. But first, head coach Tim Carlson. Coach, South St. Paul last week, they come away with a hard-fought 20-14 win. We were just talking off air. I've never been to that football stadium. I know you guys hadn't either. What a cool place to play a game. Wish you would have maybe got a touchdown more
Yeah.
at the end, but give South St. Paul credit. They came away with a close win.
Yeah, they were, first of all, it's a really neat atmosphere, so kind of sitting down in a bowl. Our fans are close. The visitor stands aren't the greatest, but sitting down, and you could see as we left, there's people who could watch the game and have a bonfire in their yard and stuff, and that's really cool. And the South St. Paul team would come running down from the school down these steps, down a steep hill, and it was really cool. It was a cool atmosphere. Yeah, you're right. The result could have been different. If nothing else, we are entertaining. But again, credit to them. You think of South St. Paul, and that's kind of their football team embodies South St. Paul. They're blue collar. They're hardworking. They're scrappy. It was a lot of mistakes in the game by both teams. A lot of penalties. I think it was close to 20 penalties total. Something like that overall, something we need to clean up. But it was a hard-fought battle. Credit them. Their quarterback played very well. He hadn't played in a couple weeks and played very well. And it comes down to making one or two more plays, and they did that.
Let's take a look at the highlights, Coach. Another Jefferson game that goes right down to the wire to the final play. Here, a nice play action, and you get a touchdown with Brock out of the backfield.
Yeah, we're running a lot of what we call the power run, and just do a little bootleg action off it. And we actually had quite a bit of success with that pass throughout the night. That one we were able to get to Brock right away. Robbie Traylor does a nice job just kind of dumping it to Brock right away and clear sailing into the end zone.
Defense had a strong game, Coach. You only give up 3 touchdowns. A total that you could go and win a football game. Here they come up with a big turnover on defense.
Yeah, we would have been happier if it was 2 touchdowns.
Sure.
But Austin Crew played a good game all night long. Here they kind of help us out, put the ball on the ground. But Austin played really well defensively all night, and he was able to scoop that one up for us. And I think that leads us to a touchdown there.
Yeah, you had a couple late drives, Coach, down by a couple of scores. This one gets you within range, a nice 19-yard touchdown connection in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, this is just a little slant. Tyson Schultz, the sophomore, is in at this point in time. Run a slant to Blake Mamalakis. And South St. Paul actually plays it pretty well, but Blake is 1, fast and 2, strong. And he runs through a kind of a shirt tackle into the end zone. We were already getting ready for the next play, thinking it was going to be about 5-6 yards to the goal line. But Blake just ran through all their tackles, and got us within 6. And things were looking good, and we had our chances.
Yeah, as you see here, another game that comes down to literally the last offensive play for you guys. A little bit in a desperation mode, Coach. You had to go down the field, not a lot of time. Forces this one a little bit, but you were right there a couple plays away from really making it interesting.
Yeah, third and 20 is a hard call. And no matter when the game is being played, at 3rd and 20, you don't have a lot that. You saw the inside guys kind of stop, and that's where we wanted to go first, go short, get it. If we could get 10, and then get it to 4th and 10, and that gives it a little bit better. But Tyson had a lot of faith in his receivers, and why not take a shot? It just didn't work out this time.
Yeah, so many close games for you this year, Coach, and you had a couple on the L ledger, but then you had one on the W side. But either way, your team's kind of battle tested in these close games. And you think about the end of the regular season's 8 days from now. Playoffs is going to come up pretty quickly. You guys are in position for a home playoff game as it sits right now, but how do you think all those close games can benefit you down the line?
Well, it can be good and it can be bad, and that depends on us as a staff and how we communicate that message to our players. And I mean that by, we have 2 more tough games coming up in Hastings and Chanhassen, and it's holy cow, we want to fight there too. But what I mean by that is the physical toughness, the playing the close games are good if you can learn to win, and that's what we're trying to do right now, is learn to get over the top. And we thought we made some progress with Apple Valley, making some stops, making some scores, marching the ball, but we need to keep doing that. If the kids get too used to losing, then those close games, then that can also hurt you. So what we want to do is just keep taking those next steps. And how do you do that? Just the ordinary little things we need to get better at. As Chuck Knoll told Tony Dungy, and I heard this weekend, is it's the great teams don't make all these great plays. They make the ordinary plays, but they do it every single play, every single game, and that's what we want to do, is just make all those little ordinary plays.
Well, big opportunity, Coach, this week. A Hastings game that a last home game for you guys. We'll talk more about it on the last segment, but a huge chance for you guys to get another big win, and we'll catch up with it later.
All right.
All right, that's the head coach, Tim Carlson. Coming up next in the players segment, a couple of the seniors stop by. We speak to Nate Royer and Riley Regan when Inside Jefferson Football continues.
Okay, let's set the facts straight. Almost a quarter of car crashes involve cell phones. When you text and drive, you look away at least 5 seconds. At 55 miles per hour, that's the length of a football field. Time out. It's illegal in 39 states to text and drive, but you're in danger everywhere when you don't focus. So keep your eyes on the road and arrive alive. No text, no wrecks. So don't text and drive.
Back on Inside Jefferson Football, final home game of the regular season for Jefferson on Thursday. It's a Thursday game this week, just 48 hours from now. Jefferson will take on Hastings. Come on out to Bloomington Stadium. Should be another perfect fall day weather-wise, as we have continued to have just a tremendous fall weather season so far. Player segment time now. Nate Royer, Riley Regan, appreciate the time, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, great to be here.
Nate, you guys are both seniors. Final home game, at least in the regular season. Maybe one more in the playoffs. Who knows? A win this week would help that. But as you kind of this season kind of gets down to the end here, what are some of your thoughts potentially going into your last home game just 2 days from now?
Well, I'm pretty excited for it. Even though it might be the last, I'm ready to just go and give it my all every play and go hit some people.
How about you, Riley?
I think I'm going to miss it after not having football for a while, but
Sure.
I'm ready to play and ready to go out and give my 100%.
Now, Coach C says you guys are kind of inseparable friends. So how long have you guys been friends, Nate? How long does that friendship date back?
It goes back all the way till kindergarten.
Okay.
So since the beginning.
Yeah.
What elementary school did you guys go to?
Washburn.
Washburn. Okay. So what's made that friendship now? And I've got friends back from my time at Jefferson that I'm still friends with now today, and I hope that's the case with you guys. But how did that friendship develop, Nate? And why Riley here as one of your best buds?
It was kind of random, honestly. We sort of just started playing together in class, during the free times one day, and then it just kept going.
How about you, Riley? What makes Nate a good friend of yours for so long?
We had the same interests, and we were always together, and we knew how to make each other happy, and
Sure.
pretty easy synergy with each other.
So you guys are kind of growing up together, right? Now you're on the football team, but track is also something that you guys both
Yeah.
do on the same sport. So let's talk about that a little bit, Riley. What do you do in track? What's kind of your best events?
All last year I did hurdles, so that was kind of my bread and butter.
What's the secret to to running hurdles? I usually trip over them or maybe jump too high. What's the secret to being successful in that event?
I don't really know if there is a secret. More of just technique and attacking the hurdle.
How about you, Nate? What do you do do you do the same thing as Riley with hurdles again, or you separate yourself a little bit?
Yeah, I do hurdles,
Okay.
and then with that, I do all the sprinting relays and basic sprints themselves, so like the 100 and 200. And my best thing is probably the 4x200 relay. I'm really good at being an anchor in that and driving home the win.
Okay. What about next year? You guys going to go to the same college or same job next year? What does next year look like for you? I know it's still early in the year, Nate.
Right now, it's looking like I'm going to go to Iowa State. I've already applied. I'm getting ready to go.
Okay. How about you, Riley?
Thinking Normandale for a couple years and then transferring credits over to a 4-year and getting a bachelor's degree.
All right. Other interests. I know you guys are into track, but Riley, you said you just like hanging out with friends. Anybody else on the team besides Nate that you're kind of best buds with?
Austin Krupp, Aiden Bertrand, Alan Nguyen. Those are kind of my buddies.
That's like the big circle that you guys all hang out in. I know,
Yeah.
Nate, you're a big gamer, right? Talk a little bit about that.
Oh, yeah. I bought my Xbox with my own money in 6th grade, and that was the beginning of it. Ever since then, I've loved gaming, and I do it a lot in my spare time.
Only in the spare time, right? Doesn't interfere with football or
of
school,
course.
right?
Yeah, just in my spare time.
Okay. All right, guys. Best of luck. I know it's going to be an emotional senior night for you guys, but we're going to be cheering for you on Thursday, okay? Appreciate the time.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
All right, coming up next in the Where Are They Now segment, we catch up with former Jaguar Nate Wakely on the other side of this break.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Or maybe it's just a little moment. If I could go back and change it all, if I could go back, I would. But I can't.
Back on Inside Jefferson Football, a Thursday game for Jefferson this week. Senior night, 48 hours from now, Jefferson will take on Hastings. Again, a Thursday start. Head on out to Bloomington Stadium and cheer on the Jaguars. Former Jaguar Nate Wakely stops by in the Where Are They Now segment. Nate, great to meet you. Glad to have you on the show.
Good to meet you as well. Thanks for having me.
Nate, we're going to get to some of your clips here in a few minutes. But walk us back through your high school days. When, and even before then, when did you start taking up the game of football? I know that wasn't your only sport that you played growing up, but specifically football, when did you take up the game, and when did you realize or know, hey, this is something I want to do at the high school level too?
I mean, ever since I was a child, I mean, I had an older brother, so my dad was coaching his BAA football team, so I was always their mascot, but I would be dressed in full pads. They'd even get me a helmet from the BAA staff, all that kind of stuff. So fun little fact, I was like a kindergartner, maybe even a little younger. I tackled Cole Aldrich during a practice one time.
Was he already
so.
like 6'7"
He was,
at
yeah,
that time?
he was still really big at that time too, so that's a cool little fact. So ever since those days, I've always known that, I mean, I've loved football, always been kind of naturally gifted as an athlete. Kind of whatever I've done, I've been able to pick it up relatively quickly. So just going up through BAA, I was always having a lot of fun with my buddies, playing football, doing that. So it's more so that camaraderie, just coming out, having fun with your friends, and having something to do. Keeps you busy all throughout your childhood. So yeah, playing football, basketball, and baseball all year round really kept me busy, kept me interested in sports. So once we got to those higher levels, kind of let my leadership show, if you will, and that kind of took me into wanting to play at a higher level in high school and all that kind of stuff.
Speaking of camaraderie and kind of growing up playing sports. You've known Coach Carlson and his family for a long time.
Long
so
time.
talk about that.
Yeah, me and his oldest son, Joe, we've known each other since 3rd grade, 4th grade, playing BA football together. So Coach C has always had his eye on me and known
Recruited you for a long time.
a little bit, but I always kind of knew that I wanted to, because I grew up on the east side of town, right by Oak Grove. So it was Kennedy's usually the route you go when you're living over there. So I always kind of knew I wanted to go to Jefferson. So he kind of always had his eye on me and made his plans for me once he got his hands on me.
Let's take a look at some of your clips from. And speaking of Kennedy, by the way, you're going to make a couple plays here against Kennedy.
Yeah, diving down the rabbit hole here.
This is you, number 18.
Number 18
correct?
on the right side here. Kind of had a fun little hit on the QB. It's always good when you can lay hits on the quarterback like that, make him tire out.
Well, you got another one, even bigger hit, and even a big play in the game here against Kennedy.
Yeah.
Talk about this sack.
Coming off the side here, totally unseen, untouched.
Yeah, it kind of makes it easy on you when no one's there to
A
block
free
you,
shot.
right?
I vividly remember this play. Honestly, I was like, I can't believe a free shot here. Hopefully he doesn't let go of the ball, get to him, and make a good hit.
Well, you did
Luckily, I did that.
Yeah, you did the right thing, and you obviously made the most of that chance.
Definitely.
You guys recover that fumble and go on to win that game. What was it like? Obviously, you grew up around a lot of Kennedy kids. Coming to Jefferson, what was that like to go against them in those sports?
It was fun. I mean, I always grew up playing with the kids on the east side of town that did end up going to Kennedy, so it made it even that much sweeter to go up against them and play them. So it was definitely different, but it was always fun to kind of have that fun, friendly battle, if you will.
All right, well, the segment's called Where Are They Now? So we want to get to that part of the story. Nate, catch everybody up on what you've been doing since high school, still around in the local area, still involved with sports in a way, right?
In a way, yes. So went to Normandale once I graduated from Jefferson, did that for a couple years, and then transferred out to the U of M. Graduated there with a sports management degree. Kind of was going through the interview process post-graduation, trying to figure out what kind of jobs I want to work. Declined a few job offers just because I felt they weren't right for me. Luckily, I stumbled across an internship for the Minnesota Vikings as they were expanding out to Eagan at their new facility. And they, luckily out of over 200 applicants, they selected me to be their facilities intern for a year. So I did that for a year. And then once my internship came to a close, they actually extended an offer to work full-time as a facility maintenance technician. So a lot of my responsibilities with that includes troubleshooting and maintaining all of our electrical, our HVAC, our plumbing. We also maintain the therapy pools that the players use on a daily basis. So that's a really big task, I'd say, that I directly do for the team, is kind of making sure that water quality is good and doesn't affect their skin or in any sort of negative way.
So you're around the players a lot. So give us any maybe some dish on some of the players, or maybe just a cool story about a player that you've had the chance to be around at the facility there.
I mean, you try to stay out of the players' way as best as you can. They got their own things to worry about that given day. So you're more or less just kind of saying hi and crossing paths with them. But I'd say a cool experience that I had was, so we get to eat lunch. It's free lunch at work, so because they have to feed players 3 meals a day. So we were eating lunch, and next thing I know, the only spot open is next to Kirk Cousins. So, and this is his first year in the building on the team, so he's just grilling us with questions. He's a very inquisitive guy. He wants to know everything about what you do and how it works and how it's made. He's a interesting guy, but very, very nice guy, very cool person. Doesn't seem that way on TV though. He seems like kind of like a weirdo, but not so much.
Well, it's good to know, Nate. Great to catch up with you. Glad things are going so well for you. I know you've also been a coach at Jefferson. We didn't get a chance to get into that part of the story too, but appreciate that you're still around. The Twin Cities still around the program. Best of luck wherever life takes you. Okay.
Thank you. Appreciate for having me.
All right, that's Nate Wakely, former Jaguar. Coming up, the last segment with the head coach, Tim Carlson, we will preview senior night against Hastings when Inside Jefferson continues.
Because of you, I felt hopeless.
I know it was a joke, but it still hurt me.
Because of you, I felt wanted and not alone in this world.
Because you said hi to me on the first day of school, I felt included and I knew that I was going to be okay.
Back on Inside Jefferson Football, senior night for Jefferson. It'll happen on Thursday. Again, that's a day earlier than normal. Thursday game at Bloomington Stadium. 7 o'clock will take air at about 6:30. Jefferson and Hastings for senior night. Actually, we'll take air for that at 6 o'clock. That'll happen a little bit before the pregame, so tune in early on BEC-TV. Back with the head coach, Tim Carlson. What do you remember about Nate? He's grown up around your family, around Joe for pretty much forever. Just seems like a terrific kid. Glad he's still involved with Jefferson and still in the Twin Cities.
Yeah, you know, I've known Nate since third grade, and he, as a player, even a little, he would just absorb everything you tell him. He was so coachable, and I remember Nate was feisty. He'd get in there. You could kind of see those plays. You know, he's sticking his nose in. He played with great emotion. That was kind of Nate, and that's why he was a captain. My first year, he and Noah Larson, and then my son Joe were captains, and they were all three very different personalities, and they just blended really well. And you know, we'd love to see Nate back coaching again. I call him, I think, every year. Say, hey, you got time? You got time? Because he does a great job. He's great with kids, great working with young people, and knows the game. And he did a great job those couple of years he was with us. And we'd love to have him back. But it's again, that's why I love this segment. I get to see all these guys that I don't see, and it's a lot of fun.
We talked with a couple of the seniors, Nate, Royer, and Riley, and senior night on Thursday already for you guys. It's not a huge senior class, Coach, but what are going to be some of those emotions on Thursday besides just trying to win a football game?
You know, anytime, senior night is so special, and having gone through it twice myself as a parent, I try to tell the parents of incoming freshmen how fast these 4 years are, and I look back and I think of these seniors coming in as freshmen, it's just like it was yesterday. And for the seniors who make it through the 4 years, because football's tough. It's just tough to play. It's mentally tough. It's physically tough. You know, it's kind of like for us coaches that there is no off season. If you're not playing another sport, you're working out. And so to see the kids who go through and play 4 years and they do the community service we ask them to do, they get involved with BAA, and you know, we're on them about grades and so on. So, you know, it'll be a time where just I get to reflect as I watch one by one they go through and think of how special each one of those kids is to me, because that's our program. We love and care about each other, and you know me, I get emotional quite easily. I know that's a shock, but I appreciate all the work that they've done on the field, in the classroom, and in the community, and I couldn't be prouder of each one of them because they've done an outstanding job in all those areas.
What an important game on Thursday too. Hastings, the opponent, they're in your section, Coach. They're above both you and Kennedy right now. You and Kennedy would be both hosting home games. That's if the playoffs started today.
Yeah.
There's still 2 more games. Really, a win here would pretty much cement that you'd at least get that home game and possibly even move up higher.
Yeah, it's one practice at a time,
Yeah.
one day at a time. But it's hard not to look ahead, and knowing this is a section game, we know Hastings pretty well. We scrimmage them in the four-way scrimmage every year, so they are already out, and everything's pretty bland when you go that first Saturday. But we know that they're athletic, they're good size, they play hard. They're a good team. They've had some success. They do a great, I think they're about 50-50 run pass, so they're a balanced offense, and they're a fast attacking defense. So it'll be a fun night. It's with senior night and a lot of things at stake. It just makes it, the whole event. It's an event, and that's pretty cool.
Last one for you, Coach. This game moved up to Thursday. Does that help you, knowing that normally this game would be on a Friday and then you'd have a really quick turnaround Wednesday? Does this help space things out a little bit better, going from Friday to Thursday and then to Wednesday?
From that aspect, absolutely. It does give us a little bit more time, especially going against Chanhassen. Now, we know Chanhassen pretty well, but we want to be physically healthy going against Chanhassen. We get that extra day, which is nice. I still love the Friday night. There's nothing about Friday. Nothing better than Friday night. It is what it is. So Thursdays kind of lose a little bit of that shine, and so I miss it that way. But yes, I think it physically can help us.
All right, Coach. We'll be there 48 hours from now. Big game against Hastings. Best of luck.
Thanks, Josh.
All right, that's the head coach, Tim Carlson, and that'll wrap up this edition of Inside Jefferson Football. Coach C and the team will be back next week for another brand new edition of Inside Jefferson Football. For our entire crew, this is Josh Powers saying good night from our studios.